Yeah, I went from like 0 to 100. I've never had a tat until I turned, how long has it been now? Just about 30. And then I came and met Oscar and did a whole sleeve. And every piece of it has a meaning behind it, which has really, really been amazing. After one of my fights, I decided to pull the trigger, and I was watching Oscar's work on Instagram and reached out to Bang Bang, and we had a FaceTime consultation to talk about what we wanted to do.
A couple, no? Two?
Yeah,
I think
a couple FaceTime before I came out the first time, and started the arm. That's when you know you found the right tattoo artist, when you can give them an idea and then you show up and your idea is 10 times cooler. You know, like I'll tell him something I want, and then every time I showed up, my mind's just kind of blown away of how he spun it, right? I mean, it is what I wanted, but within his vision.
Right.
And it's been great working with him, you know?
Bronson is one cute kid, man.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just looking
I obviously think so, but I'm real biased.
Of course. So, how did you get into wrestling?
Through my dad. My dad was like the wrestling coach in our hometown youth program, and I started following him in practice and just watching, and then, you know, one thing leads to the next. You want to do what your dad does, you know, and so kind of followed in his footsteps. He wrestled in college, and so I wrestled since I was 8 years old, third grade, yeah, all the way up through college, and when I graduated college, that's when I started fighting.
How did your skills as a wrestler translate to fighting in the MMA?
I think it's a huge part of MMA now.
Yeah.
Most of the champions, you know, have some of them, they used to have wrestling background. And not only just because of the form of martial arts of wrestling, but also just the work ethic. I feel like every wrestler develops being a wrestler. Wrestling still, to this day, is the hardest sport I've ever done. You know,
right.
You know, I go boxing, jiu-jitsu, all of kickboxing. I do it all now, right? Being a UFC fighter, but any day it's wrestling practice, you're not looking forward to. You know, you're gonna get tired. Anytime I've ever gotten hurt, it's always in wrestling practice.
Really?
Hell yeah.
No way. I have to say that it looks subtle when you watch wrestling.
Yeah.
Like you don't see like these big moves and stuff.
Yeah, the smallest things.
Yeah, right?
Smallest things go a long way. And then just think about like another grown man controlling you and how tired that makes you. You know?
Yeah.
Like when you're striking, you're boxing, kickboxing, whatever that, like you have your own motion. You know, obviously you can get caught and get knocked out, but when you're wrestling, it's brute force versus brute force, and it wears you out fast.
It's almost like a game of who gets tired first.
A lot of times, yeah. I started training MMA, and then within that first year, I actually got on the TV show The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh yeah.
And that's like a competition. They put 16 guys in a house, and you're all fighting for a contract to get into the UFC. I only had 4 fights at the time when I got on the show, so super green, mainly just a wrestler for the most part.
Right.
But that show was a fast track for me to get into the UFC. I mean, obviously the goal was to be in the UFC.
When was that, by the way?
That was 2011, 2010.
What's been one of your biggest fights so far?
I mean, I've had a lot of big ones, not being having the belt twice, but I think winning the belt the first time was by far the most important for my career, as well as my confidence and just establishing who I am. I mean, I didn't really have a household name yet until I fought for the title. I was the 8-1 underdog fighting a guy that hadn't lost in 10 years. He was, you know, UFC bantamweight champion. They even called him the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
Right.
I was going in like they're feeding a lamb to a tiger, you know. And but I obviously believed in myself, and my teammates believed in me. So I just went out there and put on like the most epic show. Being an 8-1 underdog, and I controlled the entire fight. I'd say that'd probably be my biggest fight. You know, like I said, it put me on the map. It was one of those fights that went perfect to plan too. Not everything goes as perfectly planned, you know?
Yeah.
Just like life, it throws you some hiccups, and you gotta figure out how to win. But this one just went smooth, man. Like I feel like that's what like Michael Jordan would feel like when he's like on top of his game, or Tiger Woods, or whoever it is. Like
the time stands still.
Yeah, the time stands still, and just you see everything. Super relaxed. It was an amazing time. I had a lot of fun. I lost my belt to a split decision, and that was the beginning of 2016. It took me about 2 years to get a title fight again, and that was against Cody Garbrandt, one of my arch rivals, my ex-teammate. And it was a big, hyped-up fight. We coached Ultimate Fighter actually against each other, so there's a lot of drama between us two, a lot of shit talking and emotions. And I got dropped in the first round. I got sat on my butt, and so I was like, I had to recompose myself from the corner, come out with a different game plan again, like talking about switching up your game plan through your fight.
Yeah.
And it worked to a T. You know, I caught him slipping, and I was able to finish him the next round.
What are some of the things that goes through your mind when you're in the ring?
Hopefully nothing.
Yeah, right?
You don't want to have to think.
Exactly.
If you have to think, you're a step behind, you know?
Yeah.
I've trained so much for that one particular moment in time that I just want my mind to go blank and I just react. But before the fight, you know, when you walk out, when you're in the backstage getting ready, that's when obviously you're very nervous.
Yeah.
Because you got to put all this performance into one 25-minute fight. That's when you're nervous, but you got to learn to deal with the nerves. So that's when I found out I was my best, when I learned how to have fun with it. I learned to have fun with my nerves and know that a whole arena or millions of people are watching me perform, and so I get to go out there and show off a little bit.
How and when do you think you'll have to explain to your son what daddy does for a living, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he's 2 years old now, so I mean, he's gonna see things, you know?
Right.
He's gonna just feel the emotion of me getting ready for a fight, or see a commercial, or someone wants to take a picture with me.
Yeah.
So that's gonna happen soon, you know? I mean, he's kind of figuring out. It's crazy how quick they catch on to things, but I'd imagine him finding out is gonna have to be soon. I don't know if he'll understand it, but he'll definitely find out about it.
I would be very interested in knowing, like, how does he perceive your job, you know? Because he's seen you fight.
Yeah.
That must seem like inherently weird for a kid that is fighting somebody, like, or you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, but to get the idea in his head that it's a sport and
that it's okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean that's
that must be interesting too.
We teach a lot of kids anyways at our gym.
Yeah.
And so it's something we have to hash on, that like this is for self benefit of within yourself, right? Like martial arts is a guiding tool to help you become a better person, not to look for violence. And 100%. I've actually noticed that with not only myself, but other fighters and other people that are very confident in the fighting world.
Yeah.
That they don't have to walk around with a chip on their shoulder. They're actually the last ones that are going to get in a fight.
Yeah.
You know what you can do. You're confident. Like I don't have to blowfish and pump my chest up and act like I'm a tough guy to defend myself. I just know that I can. So I feel like it kind of defers a lot of aggression. You know, and
100%.
And we teach it to the kids that, like you said, that it's a form of bettering yourself, not a form of violence.
Yeah. And you learn it so you don't have to use it in real life. Why has 2019 been a particularly tough year for you?
Yeah, I made some bad decisions. I tried chasing something that my body didn't want to let me do. I fought in January 19th of 2019. I fought Henry Cejudo for the 125-pound, the flyweight belt, and I'm the bantamweight champion. So I decided to go down an extra 10 pounds to fight a champion at the weight class below me, so that I could be a two-division champion. You know, only a couple of people have done it. No one's ever dropped down a weight class to do it, and I wanted to make history and prove that I'm the best fighter in the world. You know, not just for my weight class, but anyone that's ever done it. I feel like that I have the skill set to prove that I'm the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
Yeah.
So I decided to drop to 125s and put a toll on my body. I became anemic dropping the weight. I got down to like 4% body fat. I was probably only eating like 1,600 calories a day, but burning like 5,000. My body just wanted to shut down. So I decided to take an anemia medication that would obviously get me out of my anemic state. I knew I wasn't allowed to take it. It's, you know, it's in the rules. We get tested by USADA. They can show up. Actually, I had to let them know that I'm here in New York right now. They can come to the front door and drug test me right now. 365 days a year we get drug tested. So, wow. I mean, we could be drug tested any of those days. So I have to update all the time my whereabouts. But yeah, we drug tested by them. So I knew that it wasn't allowed, but I knew that I wouldn't be able to make the fight without it. Yeah. And I was told that I'd be okay from when I took it, that I wouldn't get in trouble. And so
that wasn't true.
It wasn't. No. It was not true. And
so, but between taking that and like it was taking this or canceling the fight because you got sick, right?
Exactly. It was either. I mean, there's no way I was going to make the fight. I don't believe without taking the anemia medication. I mean, becoming anemic, you lose all your energy. You know, and
you're dying. Like,
yeah, I mean, pretty much. My body's shutting down, right?
Yeah.
So it's where you're creating more white blood cells than red blood cells, and your white blood cells is when it's fighting off some sort of infection or disease or sickness.
Yeah.
Red blood cells is what helps you transport oxygen throughout your body. And so I'd wake up in the morning and not want to train, or just felt really lethargic. And I'm supposed to be getting ready for the biggest fight of my life, you know. And so I felt like I did what I needed to do, and it was the wrong choice, you know. It's tough to say though. I mean, 'cause I have said that like I'd probably make the same mistake, you know. I mean, not knowing the outcome, because I really wanted to do this, you know. I really wanted to prove myself, but unfortunately I kind of sold my soul to the devil, as you would say. So then I failed the drug test, and now I'm on a 2-year suspension, which is real rough, you know. Obviously the public scrutiny, but then also not being able to do what I love for 2 years. It was tough. The first 6 months, I say, was really tough of my suspension and everything coming out, because I was, you know, a little bedridden with the shoulder surgeries and feeling bad, and you know, I mean, depressed, to be honest, and just big time depression. You know, going from being on top of the world to rock bottom. And the world of social media and how everyone can be so involved in your life is ruthless, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
social media can be ruthless.
Dude, it's very ruthless. If you're a professional athlete, if you're anybody that's looking to accomplish something, you got to take the good out of any bad situation. And the good that I'm going to take, I mean, it's kind of been somewhat of a blessing in disguise, a big disguise, is that I was able to get healthy. I've had double shoulder surgery. I've been needing to get it done for the last 3 years of my life competing. I fought with blown out shoulders, but never had the time to get it fixed because I had the next big fight coming up, you know?
Right.
So I was able to do that. I got a 2-year-old son that I feel like that first year of his life, I wasn't as present as I wanted to be, because I was getting ready for fights and just not all the way there. This last year has been, me and him have created a serious bond, and he hates when I leave, so he hates that I'm gone right now. But it makes me feel good to walk in the front door and just like hear him yell "Dada," you know. So that's been huge. I've had a chance to start other businesses now. You know, usually I'm so busy getting ready for fights, and if you're going to be the best in the world, you got to be obsessed. You got to be OCD about what you do. And me was being in the gym. You know, I didn't take time off. I got really good really fast because of that. So I was able to focus my attention in other realms of business. I'm opening my own cold pressed juice store called Clean Juice. I've started an app development company with one of my business partners. I have my own cannabis farm I'm starting up in Northern California. So I'm definitely keeping myself busy. So I'm trying to set myself up once fighting's done, you know, so I don't have to just only be a fighter. It's gonna be real exciting to come back, and I want to. That's kind of why I want to get it on my hand. I want to get 2019 put on my hand, so that I can always remember that year will make me stronger, that my resilience will outweigh any of the bad, and that I will be champion again. So I think it's a very important year of my life. Even though it was the toughest year of my life, I think it's one of the most important years of my life. This next year is going to be me getting ready for that comeback, you know?
Right.
I've been out. Like I said, I had double shoulder surgery, so I haven't been able to train as much as I'm used to. So it'll be nice to get back and feel confident in my skills again. So it'll be a lot of getting ready. It'll be focusing a lot on my other businesses. as well as continuing to enjoy time with family, with my son. That's why I put him on my legs so I can enjoy him every day. It's been kind of nice to not solely be a fighter, you know, to kind of live the normal life, as you would say.
Yeah, man.
I don't have to wake up and go to the gym every single day. I get to focus on other things.